Good day, everybody. How's it going out there? In our continuing of our spoopy month, um, there's nothing scarier than lawyers. Am I right? Boozy knows he's frightening. Anyways, um, there is a factor of there is a very popular game in furry, and so this is why this topic will be a very much fun for this particular audience. I call it the furry Madden, or some other people might call it Pokemon. And why do I call it the furry Madden? It's simple. It's a game that comes out about an iteration of the game comes out about once every year, and the roster changes just a little bit. The fundamental gameplay doesn't change at all. It's actually almost the same game as the last game, other than that slightly changing roster and slightly changing stats and move sets maybe. Actually, move sets in Madden may not change all that much. But another factor that it has in common with Madden is that a lot of gaming journalists seem to complain about how buggy it is these days. Just saying. But anyway, um, so what about furry Madden? What about the Pokemon Company? Well, everyone knows that Nintendo is a bit litigious, and they're pretty accurate with their litigiousness, to be fair. Some people just throw lawyers at everything, but Nintendo seems to win a lot of their cases should they throw their money behind something. Earlier on, just before the news broke about the one we're talking about today, there was a lawsuit that was won against a Chinese company that was basically utilizing certain aspects of the Pokemon Company's IP. And they won $15 million from that. But then, after that victory, Nintendo said, let's keep the Katamari Bowl rolling. And they started going after Palworld. Now, for those of you who don't remember Palworld, it's only been 8 months. You should get yourself checked. No. It's been 8 months, but Palworld was a very popular game. Many people called it Pokemon with guns. I haven't played it myself. I think it is on the vote list. I think for this channel. Though you might want to, if you want me to see me play it, you might want to do it quickly because we don't know what the outcome is going to be if Nintendo actually does succeed in their legal actions here. But basically, the Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are basically taking legal action against Pocket Pair. There's an article by Wesley Yenpudel in the description below. Apologies for any mispronunciations. But basically, Pocket Pair said it's investigating what these infringes are, and people obviously are speculating what the possible patent perpetrators could have pilfered. Hey, I did that live. Great. I did it on purpose though, so it's not as impressive. But basically, like everyone who was looking at Palworld, a lot of people who covered Palworld earlier on, and I never had a chance to because it's like I don't really cover popular topics when they're popular. I'm not the kind of person who chases popularity, but but now since it's in the news under a lawsuit, may as well talk about it a little bit. A lot of people talked about how like this Pokemon looks like this Pokemon, right? This Pokemon looks like this Pokemon, and this one looks a lot like this one, and they're clearly inspired by it. Lavander looks like Salazzle. Whoops. Just lost my clipboard. I used Psychic Blast. There it goes. Anyway, so and that clipboard always acts like that. I wave my hands around it and it jumps. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. The Pokemon thing. They look a lot like Salazzle looks a lot like Lavander, right? And they kind of leaned into the Salazzle. Like Salazzle was a bit like the Pokédex description of it was a bit like, Nintendo, what are you doing? They have pheromones. What are you doing, Nintendo? And then like obviously Palworld's just trying to be like edgier, like the edgier teen parent of the concept of Pocket Monsters. Patents probably, though they can't call it Pocket Monster or Pokemon, so they call it pals, right? So the pals in the Palworld, so the pal of Lavander is like Salazzle to the nth degree, right? Like they just took the concept and they just threw it, and just it was really bad. Like it's like, yeah, this Pokemon likes to do things. And obviously, like, there's a bunch of other concepts, like you could capture people in your spheres or whatever they call them. To me, the patent that I think might be the thing that the Pokemon Company might go after them for, I don't think it's the monster designs. I think it might be the sphere, right? Capturing monsters in a ball, right? When you say capture, like if you were to play a game, right, called like Taboo, and capture creature's ball, right? You say capture creature ball, right? Pokemon, like people are gonna instantly think that, right? You capture the monster in a ball, so to me, it's like if there's a patent that the Pokemon Company has that like might have been infringed by Palworld, my speculation is that it's probably the ball, right? I don't even know what they call the ball in Palworld, right? They might call it the capture sphere or something. I don't know what they call it, but you throw the sphere at the pal and you capture it, right? So basically, yeah. I think that's the direction that might be going, and obviously Nintendo has a vested interest in it. As far as the gaming goes, obviously, patenting concepts in games, like, gamers are not really for, and I'm not really for it either, because like you got a patent RPG, like displaying numbers and like healing items or something like that. It's like, and there's certain things that are evolved to be staples in a genre, like controls too, like like using like back in the day, a lot of first person shooters had to use arrow keys to move around, had to use the arrow keys. If you ever play an older game like that now, it just feels so freaking weird, right? Because it's like you're using the arrow keys and then the mouse, right? And it's like your hands are both over here on the right side doing things, instead of like having one sit on the left side of the keyboard using the WASD keys. By the way, I make a joke. I made a joke at work one time. It's like, you can tell, like, if you want to know what a person does with the computer most of the time, take a look at how their hands rest on the keyboard. If they're on the middle keys, right, then they're a typist. They use the keyboard for work and typing, and that's basically it. If they have their fingers on the middle row with the ASDL, is it ASDL? No, L's the left pinky, right pinky. A is the left pinky, right? So if they're in that straight line, there's the little notches in the middle of the keyboard where your index fingers are supposed to go. I think it's on the F and what? I can look at it right here. It's F and H. I don't know why I didn't remember where the keys placement were just by looking at it. But I know where W, A, S, and D are, because if your left hand, if your middle finger rests on the W key naturally, then you're a gamer. And I know that you game in your free time. Because if you didn't game in your free time, your middle finger would be laying on the D key. But if you're a gamer in your free time, your index finger is laying on the D key, because the WASD position, where you hold your hand up over here instead of in the line like over here. So, interesting little factoid. Impress your friends. But if your friends are mostly furries, they're probably gamers anyway, so it's not like a really neat parlor trick. It's like, oh, you guessed I was a gamer and I'm at my computer? Oh, what is it? The game I'm playing on my computer? Right. So anyways, back on topic. The whole thing is like obviously silly to gamers. It's like Like Pokemon, they felt like some people are in the gaming, like obviously the people in the gaming community who liked Palworld are like, yeah, Pokemon's getting a bit stale, and finally this company comes up to freshen up the formula, but apparently the formula was patent, not patent pending, but actual patent. So we'll see what comes of it. As I said, if you haven't voted for it yet, better vote for it quickly. It might be gone in the future. Spoopy disappears. But anyways, I think that should cover it. I think we've covered just about everything with that. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Kick the like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section. What do you feel about Palworld? I think the one thing I do, the one critique that the gamer, like the last thing I'll say about it is, there was a term that I heard being kind of thrown around by the gamers who were kind of against Nintendo's approach on this, litigious approach. And they were saying Nintendo's being a patent troll. And that I will disagree with. Because in the tech world, patent troll means a specific thing, okay? Patent troll means that a person created a patent and has no intention on following up with the patent. Like they come up with this idea for an invention and they just let it sit and let it rot. Now, if this company came up with the idea for like a new Star Fox game or Star Fox-like game, right? A new space animals in spaceships game, and then Nintendo came with a patent and slapped them in the face and went, whoosh, if they did that, then I would say patent troll might be a bit more accurate, because it's like the Star Fox IP has been sitting there since like 2018 collecting dust and not really contributing anything to the Switch era at all. Like the last game they had was a Wii U game, and for that weird tech demo with the gyration scope or whatever, I played it. It was kind of forgettable, unfortunately. And like, so if they were to use that with that IP, sure. Pokemon, I think the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, they're using that patent. They are milking that mill tank for all it's worth. It is the most profitable franchise, even above Mickey Mouse and Disney, right? It's made more in revenue than Mickey Mouse and Disney. So they're using it. So if Palworld did in fact infringe upon an actual patent that the Pokemon Company is actually using, then that's the reason that patents exist in that format. So maybe the game can be modified so that it doesn't violate that patent, I hope. And I hope it's a small thing to change, and I hope it's not something that'll fundamentally destroy the game or fundamentally destroy their company. I really do hope that's the case, and they can pay their swear jar and move on, because I'm sure they made a lot of money off the game. They had it was a very popular game early on this year. But anyways, hopefully things work out in the end so that we'll get over this mountain and move on to the next one, and hopefully everything will turn out all right in the end. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Kick that like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section about what you feel about these two monster titans, or I should say pal titans, but Nintendo's no pal of theirs. No. Have a good one, guys.